I think the evidence at this point, ladies and gentlemen, is undeniable in the case for XRP playing a pretty substantial role in tomorrow's financial future. Right now, there is a renaissance going on in regards to the current monetary system that we all use. And there's an evolution that is taking place which involves distributed ledgers. And I think it is my opinion that XRP is going to be the premier payment monetary solution that is actually going to upgrade the sort of traditional financial system in many, many ways, certainly as it relates to money. And we're going to be exploring that in this video. Rather interestingly, just the other day, the European Central Bank came out and said a digital euro would be a digital form of cash available to everyone and accepted everywhere in the euro areas and probably more further abroad, says Executive Board member Piero Cipollone, probably Italian by the sounds of that second name. It would bring tangible benefits to all stakeholders, consumers, merchants, and banks. And actually, tangible benefits might even include getting a yield on just holding cash in your bank. You know, we know that we got the amazing opportunity to interview Graham over at Archax. And he spoke about how you could actually essentially tokenize money market funds for payments, which is interesting. And certainly if you back, and this is one reason we're going to touch on it, we're going to sort of take a step back in a second and touch on our big picture in regards to XRP. You know, we ultimately believe that XRP is going to enable their real USD stablecoin. They're going to be favorited by the US government, and they're going to buy and solve some of the debt issue through sort of backing their stablecoin with government-issued debt, of which there's 35 trillion. Now, that actually means that you might be able to get a yield on your cash because it's backed by the underlying, you know, money market fund or treasury bill that has a yield on it. So you'll almost get a yield for just holding cash. There's an interesting thing there. Whether they do it to the whole 35 trillion or not is another story. We will be talking about that. But it's very interesting how we're getting news that the European Central Bank is certainly confirming their move towards digital cash. We know the Digital Euro Association has partnered with Ripple. The Digital Euro Association is delighted to announce its partnership with Ripple as a supporting partner to jointly work on a central bank digital currency, CBDC. Ripple, one of the leading providers of enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions for cross-border payments, has recently developed a blockchain-based infrastructure to support CBDCs and is engaged with Bhutan's central bank. Now, we spoke about Bhutan yesterday, probably not pronouncing that right in regards to, they are the fourth largest Bitcoin holder in the world, believe it or not. And I think their GDP, what was it, $3 billion a year? If Bitcoin gets to, and this is one of the beautiful stories that we hear coming out of certainly the Bitcoin space, is, you know, how Bhutan's entire economy and standard can change as a result of adopting technology at an early basis. It goes on to say, amongst others, to help execute their CBDC pilots, Ripple is also a member of the Digital Pound Foundation and continues to extend its efforts around CBDCs worldwide. The DEA partners with Ripple's includes, amongst others, joint educational efforts and digital currencies and knowledge exchange. We are thrilled that due to the partnership with Ripple, we can extend the technological expertise of the DEA, Digital Euro Association community, as more and more CBDC projects worldwide reach advanced stages. Technological designs of a CBDC will play a role for policymakers in the near future, while previous years focused primarily on research. Ripple's partnered with a number of different countries. They talked about with a team of around 40 people globally, helping to develop and deliver solutions for CBDCs and stablecoins. The World Bank actually spoke about Ripple in relation to stablecoins. And of course, XRP, you can see they mentioned the XRP ledger here, on-demand liquidity, a number of things like that. I think this article came out in 2022. And actually, just the other day, September, so this month, we heard from the National Credit Union Administration, the Vice President, Kyle S., essentially talking about stablecoins are already changing America's creaky payment system, especially for international payments. And Ripple really seemed to be positioned at the heart of all of this. So it's very interesting what's going on in Europe right now. The kind of announcement. This is what I mean. The evidence is undeniable when you if you look at the digital transformation that's going on with the monetary system, who continuously pops up everywhere? It's Ripple. And they're leveraging, just like Amazon leveraged the internet, we spoke about the analogies here, XRP's ledger, a distributed ledger, a blockchain, to essentially facilitate all this, just like Amazon leveraged the internet to entirely revolutionize commerce. Ripple is doing the same thing with really money itself. And I'm of more of a belief that Ripple is going to play more of a role in tomorrow's monetary system than the likes of Bitcoin. I think Ripple stands far more of a chance of getting adopted because it's actually going to work with these systems and alleviate some of the issues with them. It doesn't mean I'm in favor of them, by the way, guys. I'm just telling you as I see it. Then a new system is going to be put in its place, certainly until they decide to crash everything. And the thing is, I very much believe it's a globalist agenda that we're moving towards, not one that I'm a fan of, by the way. A distributed ledger ticks many boxes, and I think Ripple are going to actually play a key role in kind of enabling, let's not call it a George Orwellian society, because I don't think it's quite that. So, very interesting in regards to the Euro news. I wanted to get that out of the way of. Let's talk about our sort of big view on XRP. Now, we ultimately have a price prediction of $19.27. We did do a price prediction video. We spoke about what we're looking at here. There is also potentially a smaller pattern on the more immediate time frame that may see XRP actually look to move to the sort of 80 plus cents range. Remember, once you take out this period, this level, sorry, not this level here, I think it's 94 cents. This bigger pattern that we're essentially looking at, 95 cents, does then come into play. And then we believe you're going to start the journey to $19.27. There's a number of fundamental reasons why Ripple's price may spike in a similar manner to what we've previously seen. I've got a lot of people asking me, how long do I think this price prediction is going to take place? The simple and best answer I can give, or most genuine answer, is it's going to take as long as it takes. I could see this happening in the immediate or more immediate future, being, a couple of years, year or so down the line. I think once this train really gets leaving the station, it's not going to take long to really get rocking and rolling. And yesterday we had a hearing. They didn't really, with the SEC and the Senate, they didn't really allude too much to XRP. They did give some answers that kind of, I thought, cleared. We know that Gary Gensler, lots of people were wondering whether the SEC is going to appeal the decision in regards to Ripple, Brad and Chris. I don't think they will, based on the fact that Ripple has been deemed a non-security. They've also came out and admitted that crypto asset security is a shorthand that doesn't refer to the underlying asset. So Ripple is not, or XRP is not a security. There's ramifications for what this means for ETFs and everything in between, but we're kind of blurring a lot of things here. Just pay attention to this. So one reason we're as interested in XRP as we currently are right now is simply due to this technical pattern. And the belief that I hold in regards to it getting to $19.27. The evidence is undeniable in regards to Ripple and thus XRP playing a role in tomorrow's financial world. You can't deny it. People hate on XRP for no other reason than it hasn't done anything really since 2017. But that doesn't mean that it isn't going to change the world in much the same way that, let's pull up Amazon. We've got currently higher targets for Amazon. We think Amazon is, we've been calling for, a $261 Amazon really since $120. But if we go back to the .com sort of boom, this was a technology, or this was a company that was going to change the entire world. Ripple is a technology, in our opinion, that is going to absolutely change the entire world. And just because it hasn't done something for, this took 2020 all the way to 2016, 6 years. Similar sort of journey and trajectory to what XRP's on. We do truly believe it's going to change the world, and it's propped up everywhere, guys, and we think there's going to be a lot of value, or it's going to be valuable as a result of that, and very much backed by the United States government. And I want to talk about why that is. So this is a report from JP Morgan. JP Morgan foresee a decreased use of Tether with up-and-coming stablecoin regulations. Up-and-coming stablecoin regulations in the US and Europe will impact Tether's usage, according to JP Morgan analysis. These regulations would likely put indirect pressure on Tether as its attractiveness would diminish relative to stablecoins, with more transparency and greater compliance with new regulatory KYC AML standards. The analyst said this challenge for Tether would also apply to the DeFi space, where Tether is widely used as a source of collateral liquidity. Tether reports are still lacking a full and detailed asset breakdown and independent audits instead of audit assurance. They said there are significant price risks associated with assets other than UST bills, the analysis said. So Tether, and we're going to come on to that in just a second because we've got a clip from CNBC, are currently the premier stablecoin. And it's interesting. So we've got that upside target for XRP. We've actually got downside targets where we actually see Tether going from 5.4% of the market. Tether and its dominance is naturally going to diminish in a raging bull, which we think we're on the cusp of. But I do actually think that Tether, there's not just the bull market narrative here with Tether. If this is going to go to 1.35%, there's likely going to be external pressures put on Tether. And I think it has everything to do with stablecoin regulations. We've already seen MiCA in the Eurozone, which of course are going to be affecting Tether, have affected Tether, caused people to delist Tether. I also think there's going to be a new champion that arises in regards to the stablecoin space, and that's going to be real USD. And the US is very good at taking out competition, legislating competition out of existence, and they're going to back Ripple to ultimately, as a US technology company, to ultimately be the issuers of the premier stablecoin for US dollars. And not only that, they're going to use that stablecoin to buy up debt, and Ripple and XRP are going to enable all this and going to be massive as a result of it. I think Ripple are going to go public and become one of the largest companies in the world, just like the other unicorn stocks out there. Let's play this quick clip of Tether talking about essentially buying up T-bills and democratizing the purchasing of debt. We're at a point now where we need something like stablecoins because debt is... There's a supply-demand imbalance there. There's $3.5 trillion of it, and there isn't the others. And this is all part of the dollarization of the world and moving towards a one world sort of currency system, which I'm not in favor of, by the way, guys. I think people think because I talk about this stuff that I kind of am backing it. The truth couldn't be further for me, I'm afraid. I do not support CBDCs or anything of the sort. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and mute my mic, and then we're going to get into this clip of, I think it's an individual from Tether talking about the democratization of T-bills. Ripple and the US government are likely going to take out the competition being Tether through regulations, and then instate Ripple and XRP as the kind of premier stable coin and the buyer of all the debt and all these other things. And this is just one aspect of what Ripple are doing. There's many. The evidence is undeniable. Let's get into this clip.
Our stable coins and their concept is changing what central banks, what investment banking know about liquidity. I mean, when you look at liquidity models for investment banks, for central banks, to what extent do you think that we need new liquidity models, liquidity strategies to cope with the existence of stable coins?
Well, let me give you the example of USDT, right? Because it's very, very real. So with USDT, we have more than $100 billion in US Treasury bills, in short-term US Treasury bills. Think about China had around $2 trillion 2-3 years ago in US Treasury bills, and now has $700 billion, give or take. A company like Tether, that is a private company, has more US Treasury bills holdings compared to UAE itself, compared to Australia and Spain.
So we're talking about countries here.
Exactly. If we are not a country, right? So it's quite interesting how it's turning out. But let's think about what does it mean, right? If the U.S. government sells its debt to counterparties, the biggest counterparties are countries. Countries have a Minister of Finance and they have a committee. They can decide to start selling holdings of UST bills, right? So what Tether does, and not many people think about it, is we have decentralized the ownership and decision-making of selling the US debt. We have 350 every time a person in Argentina purchases some USDT, we take that money and we buy T-bills. So we have 350 million. The decision to sell T-bills is decided by 350 million people.
You're not a government.
We are not a government, but also we are just a proxy. So we are not taking the decision. they are deciding. So it's much, much stronger. So we are helping the US dollar to becoming stronger, more resilient, more decentralized. It's something that is unprecedented, and I'm really proud that Tether was able to start that.
I don't think you can ignore what's happening with US debt and the role of stablecoins. And I think this is only going to be adopted by government and propagated by the likes of Ripple in regards to the US. It's just genius, really, isn't it? And we think real USD is going to play a role in all of this. We think they're already going to play a role, or Ripple's certainly going to play a role in XRP in regards to central banks around the world, ultimately enabling them. And it's an exciting future that we have ahead of us. There's a million and one catalysts in regards to what sees XRP do what we think it's going to do in regards to going to $19.27. There's no guarantee on that. You can't take that check to the bank. But we shall see, and we'll keep you up to date here on All in Crypto. That's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one.